Hello, and welcome back to Delgado's ESL 3-4. This week's topic is time. The goals for this week are to work with the present perfect with sense and for. We'll talk a little bit about prepositions with time phrases, and we will focus on some common expressions using time. So we've already covered the present perfect before, but we're going to use the words for and since this week. And as you can see in this chart, for is for a duration, a period of time, and since is for a specific time in the past, a certain day or certain number of days ago. And we'll talk about that in this lesson. So we often use this setup for responses to questions about how long have you done something for. So how long has she been a student? Well, she has been a student for blank years, for 10 years. How long has it been since you brushed your hair? I have not brushed my hair since 2010, right? So that's there. So we have just here for you. We won't read them to you. Read them to yourself. Some common questions and common responses using the present perfect and since or for in the answers. And just here's just one more graph to show you that since is for a specific point in time, and for is for something that happened over a duration of time. So women have voted since 1920, and women have voted for 100 years. Because you're using 1920 versus 100 years, you have to change the word between since or for, right? Okay, so we gave you some sentence frames to use with your classmates, a little question and answer practice. Fill in those blanks with all the vocabulary that you know and practice that with your classmates. All right? Okay, so for the next thing we're going to do before we take our break and intermission, and we won't read all of these sentences to you as usual, is that you should look at these small timelines, and you should fill in the blanks using the timeline and the word either since or for, right? So your teachers will go over the answers with you, but you can figure them out. You're smart, right? So we have just these different images here, all about history, even modern history. All right. So look at these images, fill in the blanks, talk about it with your classmates, and we'll be back for part 2 in just a second. All right, and welcome back to part 2 of time. We're going to continue to work with the present perfect with sense and for and common expressions using time. So there's a lot of these in English: time's up, out of time, the best of time, the worst of times, one at a time, time flies, spare time, all sorts of different ones, more than even's on here. I think there's like 80, right? So we're just going to focus on a few of these. Again, since and for, and a couple words about time. So decade, century, and millennium. All right. So a century is 100 years, a decade is 10 years, and a millennium is 1,000 years, right? As usual, we won't read the sentences to you, read them yourselves, but do make sure you know those 3 units of time. All right. Okay. So we have here some images of the different things that we're working on this week, just the 6 of them. Match them up to the different images. If you think that they match more than one image, discuss that with your classmates, right? All right. Or if you don't think they match any of the images, discuss that with your classmates too. All right. But most of what we're going to do in this part of the lesson is we are going to read over a small skit, which Grace and her roommates have thankfully recorded for us. And so without further ado, let's listen to the skit, and then afterwards you can rehearse it with your classmates and also discuss it, and we'll have a few other activities. Welcome to the big race. Our competitors have spent years training for this race, and the time to train is over. Let's get ready. Those race will start in no time. Champions, to your marks. Oh, I'm gonna smash this kid. Cronus, make sure to time me. Okay, dear Centaur, I will, but you are nearly out of time. The referee has called you to the starting line. Hey, kid, how did you make it here? I have trained for a decade to prepare. I don't know. I just try to have fun, and it seems like time flies. Whatever. No way that dinky horse will beat me while pulling your giant head around. Ha ha. Time's up for chatting. Ready, set, go. Oh no, looks like the kid has pulled a fast one. As I have stated previously, time flies. Okay, sports fan, the giant kid has won the race. Wow, would you like to say anything to the crowd? Oh, yes. Today I had the time of my life. What was my time? I have grown bored of you. Your time is up. The end. All right. I hope you guys liked that little skit there. For extension activities, we've linked in here a link to Brady quote. There are tons of quotes about time. Look through them, find one that represents you, and bring it to class to share with your teachers and your classmates. There's also in here, for you who are so inclined, a poem by Maya Angelou. It's called In and Out of Time, with sticking with this week's theme. It's a very nice love poem, and I encourage you to read it over and talk about it with your classmates and your teacher. And that's all we have for this week. So thanks, goodbye, and we'll see you next time. Enjoy your conversations.